What you often find is in all cultures, in all religions, in all communities, there is usually that small percentage of narcissistic people that are going to go all out because they feel entitled to have everything their own way. They don't want to see it from another person's point of view, to play the victim, to claim that everybody else is privileged, everybody else gets all the luck, so that they can gain enablers and flying monkeys to have things their way, so that they don't have to work hard at anything. They can just play the victim and accuse people of discriminating against them. And this is in all communities. And when it comes to these people, they are usually either the vulnerable narcissist who is playing the victim oh so well, or they are the grandiose narcissist who has that arrogance and that charismatic charm to pull people in to get their own way, to gain the attention and the admiration that they believe they're entitled to, and also to have everything how they want it. Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel where we discuss all things narcissism, and this video is going to be about the narcissist and their scapegoats. So when it comes to a community where you have got a small percentage of narcissistic people within that community, they are going to go all out to give that community a bad name. Not that they recognise that they're doing this, because they perceive themselves to be perfect and that they should have everything their own way. Their sense of entitlement and their willingness to exploit other people's empathetic nature. So when you're dealing with these kinds of people in these communities, what happens is people in the communities around them start to stereotype that certain community, and it happens to all communities. All have their stereotypes. I'll not name any because there's that many communities out there that you just can't do it. So what happens is they due to their behaviour, people begin to stereotype that person and that community as being that person, when not everybody within that community is like that. However, due to certain behaviours, it does make people more wary, does make people more on guard, especially if they've had previous experience from a narcissistic type of person within that community. However, the genuine people within that community, due to the narcissist's very nature, can't speak out. If they were to speak out against the narcissist who's ruining that community's name, and usually in a morally self-righteous, virtuous way of I'm only trying to help, I'm only trying to make things better for us, when what they're doing is ruining that community's reputation. So when the people in that community, even though they can be as much as 99%, when they try to speak out, the narcissistic one plays the victim. They scapegoat the person who is speaking out against them. They shame them. They blame them for all the narcissist's mistakes, flaws, faults, wrongdoings. They pass responsibility over to the scapegoat so that the narcissist can escape any consequences, and if possible gain flying monkeys and enablers to attack the person who is speaking out against the narcissist, who is acting in very exploitative ways, who believes they're speaking for everybody in that community when actually they're not. They're speaking for themselves under the guise that they're trying to help the community, when what they're doing is making the reputation of that community so much worse. And when others in the community speak out, the narcissist will scapegoat those people and then isolate them. They cut them off from the community. However, because of the stereotype the narcissist has caused for those around that community, or people in different communities, there's a stigma then attached to a person coming from that community, which means those in other communities are less likely to allow that person in, even though that person is genuine. They've got their guard up because all they've heard is the loud and the brash or the vulnerable victim narcissist who isn't interested in anybody else's opinion. They just want everything their own way. And if anyone tries to explain to them where perhaps they are acting in an immoral way, the narcissist just turns around and accuses the other people of attacking the entire community, when they're not actually attacking the entire community. They're just pointing out how the narcissist is behaving. But the narcissist accuses the outsiders of attacking the entire community to use that as a leverage to get the community onto the narcissist's side, so that the narcissist has the safety within those numbers. If there's any sort of people going against what the narcissist is saying, the narcissist will find somebody to scapegoat that person, to accuse that person of attacking them. The narcissist will feel more than entitled to threaten another person, threaten another person's family, threaten another person's home, just because they're speaking the truth about the narcissist's behaviour. They feel entitled to do that, to try and shut that person up, to place that fear into that person. Yet, if anyone was to do that to them, if anyone was to say, hey, this is wrong, you shouldn't be threatening people, how would you like it? Oh, you threatening me? They go straight into the victim every single time. Anybody that does not conform to a narcissistic person's demands often becomes the scapegoat of the narcissist, the person who will be mocked, blamed, shamed, ridiculed, judged, to be isolated, to have no support. And because those who perhaps can see what the narcissistic person is doing can also see what happens to those who speak out against them, they then fear speaking out because they've seen what's happened to the other scapegoats. They recognise that if they speak out, they're going to be accused, they're going to be threatened, they're going to be isolated, they're going to be pushed out. And very few people are going to be willing to support the scapegoat due to the stigma that is attached if it's somebody from that community. And very few people from outside of the community want to speak up, even though they're speaking the truth, because they are accused of being discriminative in some way, of attacking that community in some way. And within that community, it's not all of them. It's just that small percentage of narcissistic people within each and every community that creates that bad name, that bad reputation, that stigmatism, that causes people to fear speaking out about what is actually happening, until the narcissist within that community has massed enough enablers to support them, so that the narcissist can continue the very hurtful, very toxic, very damaging behaviour, not only to those within the community, but those on the outside of the community, all under the pretense that they are just trying to help, they're just trying to do the right thing, they're just trying to support their people. Because to a narcissist, they are virtuous, they are self-righteous, they are superior, they are better than everybody else. To the outside world, they're self-entitled, they're exploitative, they lack empathy, they're looking to get everything their own way, they're arrogant, they believe that they are special. So they're not willing to understand social norms. They're not willing to understand that perhaps it is immoral to do something. They believe they're entitled to do it, and if anyone dares call them out for it, then you're being discriminative against them, and they're going to accuse you of attacking them so that they can use you as a scapegoat and isolate you from all forms of support. Now, the thing with a scapegoat is they're usually truth seekers. They usually sat there thinking, unbelievable, how on earth are you getting away with this? This isn't right, I'm going to speak the truth here. So they usually are truth seekers. They are usually willing to call a narcissist out. And when you call a narcissist out, it usually doesn't end well. They're also usually very emotionally reactive because they're very passionate, either about the community they're in, the culture that they're from. They're usually very passionate. So when they try to speak out against a narcissist is going to provoke their emotions. They're going to become emotionally responsive, and the narcissist is going to accuse the person who's speaking the truth of being crazy, of attacking them, of losing their mind, of not thinking rationally. Narcissistic people go all out to invalidate, to shame, to blame, to mock, to ignore, to dismiss, to provoke, to isolate, so that people can't speak out against them. And this helps them coercively control those around them so that the narcissist can get everything their own way, and then they feel like the almighty and all-powerful. What you'll often notice with a narcissistic person is people can have haters for various reasons. There's various reasons why people can dislike what somebody is doing. With narcissistic people, they hate people speaking the truth, and they go all out to accuse the people speaking the truth of all sorts, to dismiss what the truth seekers are saying. When it comes to a narcissistic person, they hate people speaking the truth. When it comes to genuine people, they hate people who are they don't particularly hate them. They just dislike the fact that people are taking advantage of others, that people are doing things untoward to other people, that people are being immoral, that they want to protect people, so they speak out, and the narcissist then accuses those who are trying to protect people from the narcissist of being envious of the narcissist. The narcissist creates that reality within their own mind, and usually for those around them, for anyone who dares to speak up against the narcissist, well, they're just envious of me. When the narcissist is usually incredibly envious of those around them, which is why they're acting in the manner that they are. They're trying to tear everyone else down and make themselves bigger and better than everyone else because they're envious of everyone else. However, rather than recognise this, they'd rather provoke people to speak the truth to the narcissist, and then they accuse those people of attacking them. They will also turn around and claim to be some of the most happiest people you could ever meet, and that is why everybody is out to get them. That's why everybody is trying to attack them, when realistically they are some of the most miserable people you could ever meet, which is why they are behaving in the manner of which that they are behaving, but they are feeling smug, and that smugness gives them that happiness, that delight. They're feeling smug that they're winding everybody up. And not only are they winding everybody up, they're getting away with it. So they feel happy. And then they accuse people of being envious of them because they're so happy. And they're not. They're just smug that they're able to manipulate people's emotions to work in the narrative that the narcissist wants to sell those around them to get away with their behaviour. giving people within that community, within that culture, within that religion, a bad name. When a good percentage of those people within that religion, within that culture, within that community are genuine and nice. The narcissistic one ruins it for everybody else. But due to the fear the narcissist places into those around them, by scapegoating people, nobody dare stand up to the narcissist anymore. And everyone goes along with the narcissist narrative. And people can see it, and then people start talking behind people's backs. And then society slowly starts to crumble. Because people then speak up against the narcissistic types due to how narcissistic people manipulate whatever you do to their advantage. If anyone has any thoughts on this video, please do add those into the comments. Thank you very much to all the returning subscribers and your continued support with the channel. It's greatly appreciated. If you are new to the channel, I'm Elizabeth Shaw. This channel is all about narcissistic behaviour to give you more understanding of the people you might be dealing with within your life, how to handle yourself around those people if you cannot give no contact, and different methods to find what works for you to help you understand and overcome narcissistic and emotional abuse. If you do find the information helpful on the channel, please do subscribe. If you are looking for further help and support in understanding and overcoming narcissistic and emotional abuse, I do have several online guides available, and those teachable links are in the video description. If you're looking for someone to speak to, I have partnered with BetterHelp, and their sponsored link is also in the video description. If anyone's looking for any further reading, I do have a new book out, which is 15 Rules to Deal with Narcissistic People, which is available on Amazon now. I shall also add the link to that in the video description. Thank you very much for watching. Go out there and create the day that you deserve, because you do deserve to have an amazing day. Bye.